Well, I am delighted to say that Raygun joins us now live from Melbourne. There is a bit of a delay because we're speaking to you from quite a long way away, but it is great to see you. Thank you for joining us. I know you weren't able to watch back the routine. We've just played some of it there. Have you watched it back now?
Not really, no. I don't usually like watching myself anyway. But look, honestly, oh gosh, it went so viral, didn't it? It was crazy. And look, honestly, I just think that maybe some of the camera angles weren't the most flattering to me. You know, breaking's meant to be viewed in this kind of small circle looking downwards, and some of those camera angles were like upwards, sideways, frontways. It was a lot. So I don't love watching myself back, no.
It must have been quite a whirlwind with the global attention that you got after this. And I guess, you know, there was the criticism online, there were lots of comments online, lots of people saying things. It must have been a lot to deal with, I imagine.
Yeah, and I think I'm still processing it, to be honest, because it was a lot. I can't believe how global it went. You know, meeting people from around the world and them telling me that I'm a household name in their country, like that is just wild. So it's really something that I'm still getting used to and adapting to, and I don't think I'll ever fully process it, to be honest.
But it must have been a moment when you see things like, and we've just showed it there, the moment where Adele said it was the best thing that happened in the Olympics, watching you dancing. So I guess, you know, even if you take all the comments in your stride, that's got to be up there, hasn't it?
That is totally surreal. I mean, Adele bringing me up and someone, you know, sent this to me, and it's just like all these things that you know, my friends and family were sending to me of like, you know, this meme or this celebrity talking about me or that. And it's just like totally surreal. Like I just never expected it. It wasn't on my bingo card for 2024, going viral or being, you know, the top Halloween costume around the world. Totally wild.
Rachel, I said at the start that you'd retired because of the scrutiny. Is that true? Because you clearly love what you do. You know, you've enjoyed it. You enjoyed the experience. Not everyone gets a chance to compete at the Olympics or on the world stage. And if that is true, it's a real shame that you feel that you have to retire because of some negative comments.
Yeah, look, retire is a really strong word, and it's not a word that I ever actually used, but it's a word that has been totally latched onto and has kind of gone for a second iteration of me being viral around the world. But because I think this is a moment where we just see how different breaking is from other sports. You know, breaking is also a culture. It's also an art form, it's a lifestyle, and you don't retire from culture. And so, you know, even though I might not be competing in those big competitions anymore, you know, I'll probably still enter community jams, I'll probably, you know, I'll always still dance. But certainly my focus has changed. And yeah, you know, the public scrutiny was a lot to deal with, but I'm not going to stop it from doing anything that I want to do, to be honest.
Is it disappointing to you? We know it's been dropped, hasn't it, as a sport for the Los Angeles Games. Do you think that breaking should be there in the Olympic Games?
I think there are positives and negatives to both, you know. Look, I think if it was going to be in the Olympic Games again, there needs to be a lot more work done around how we can better communicate breaking to non-breaking audiences. I mean, the thing that has been a real sticking point through all of this is this whole 0 points thing. Actually, no one got any points in breaking. There are no points in breaking. There are judges' votes, and the judges' votes are based on 5 categories. And I won some categories, I lost some categories, but it wasn't enough to sway the judges' votes. So I think if it was going to be in the Olympics again, we really need to make sure that the general public have a much better understanding of what it is they're watching. Because, you know, when I went when I performed at the Olympics and, you know, went viral, my gosh, there were a lot of people that were experts on breaking that I didn't realise were out there. I didn't know that so many people were so passionate about breaking. My goodness, so many experts out there. So I think that's something we need to be prepared for.
But your routine was quite distinctive, wasn't it, though? Because I think we've got an idea of what we think, you know, breakdancing looks like. But when you look at some of your moves, the kangaroo hop, the writhing snake, you know, it was quite an individual one, isn't it, that perhaps people hadn't seen before?
Yeah, but that's just more the non-breaking audiences. I mean, the head judge came out the next day and said, look, you know, Raygun was representing the culture. What she did wasn't that unusual. No one thought what I did, you know, in terms of all the breakers that were there, no one thought what I did was that weird because, you know, there are different approaches in breaking, and I don't think all those different approaches were shown in the Olympics, but there are some fantastic, you know, like totally different styles and specialties and creativity in breaking culture that I hope that, you know, I hope that people now start to see more of and start to support their local breaking scenes around the world so they can support people expressing themselves in all these different ways.
You know, Rachel, I listening to you now, I've got so much respect for you, actually, and I think a lot of people will at home, because you've been through, I mean, the negative comments, the barrage, for any of us who've had any kind of criticism on social media, it's tough to take anyway, but you've had it from all corners of the planet. But here you are, smiling brightly, shining brightly, talking about your experience on breakfast television in the UK. And, you know, I think, you know, respect to you. So what next? Because actually a lot of Olympic athletes, and that's what you are, an Olympic athlete, always look to go, hang on, what can I do outside the sport? Because we all know that it doesn't necessarily pay. So what next for Rachel? You've got the world stage ahead of you, in front of you. I think you could do a number of things and people will watch and listen to you. What have you got your eye on? What would you like to do next?
Look, one of the positives that has come out of this crazy experience is that people have felt inspired to dance. And people have felt inspired and gained the confidence to be their authentic selves. And that just makes me so, so happy. So, you know, that's kind of what I'm working on. I've got a few different things behind the scenes that I'm working on that are really about that positivity, about that joy in dance, no matter how old you are, no matter what body you have, no matter, you know, how much dance experience you have. I think in crazy, wild, scary times like this, it's important to find moments for joy and moments to be creative and express yourself. So, you know, it's been great already having being part of this campaign with Finder, and then, you know, there's a few things that'll maybe be coming out down the track. So, you know, watch this space.
Lovely. We will be watching. I think you can count on that. Everyone's watching. So, thank you so much for joining us this morning,
Yeah,
Raygun.
good for you. Thanks ever so much, Raygun.
Thank you.
No doubt. We will see more of her.
Fantastic.
And I love the fact, so she's challenging people across the world to do better than her and to submit their dance moves online. And you used to do a bit of breakdancing, didn't you? Do you want to
When I was about 7 years old, no.
Oh,
if anyone's done a bit of dancing, Strictly, hello.
Oh, yeah, but that wasn't breakdancing,
We could get you in the GB team. Not for LA, we're not doing dancing
Honestly,
there, but come on.
I'm not doing the kangaroo
You
move.
could do something.
I think this is your
You could
moment.
do the hippo move. We had a hippo on earlier.
You should
could do a
prove
hippo.
to everyone
What?
that you can do breakdancing.
No, let's move on.